Lucifer is perhaps the most enduring figure in Western literature and philosophy. Known as the fallen angel, the adversary, the rebel, he has fascinated poets, thinkers, and artists for centuries. While traditional religious narratives cast him as the embodiment of evil, literary and philosophical traditions have long explored his rebellion as a mirror for human struggles, questions of authority, free will, justice, and conscience. These 10 moments are not literal actions, but symbolic touchpoints where Lucifer has been interpreted as an archetype that challenges our understanding of morality, power, and freedom. Number 1. Questioning authority. From the moment of his rebellion, Lucifer's primary act was to question authority. In John Milton's Paradise Lost, he debates the hierarchy of heaven, resisting unquestioning obedience. Philosophers and poets have long seen this as emblematic of human curiosity and critical thinking. To question the divine order is to exercise reason, and for humans, reason is often the first step toward moral agency. Lucifer's rebellion is, in this sense, a symbol of the courage to ask why rules exist and whether obedience alone defines virtue. Number 2. Refusal of blind obedience. Closely tied to questioning authority is the refusal to obey without understanding. Many interpretations of Milton portray Lucifer not as wantonly evil, but as a being exercising free will to its extreme. The ethical reflection here is profound. Obedience without comprehension has no moral value. By rejecting automatic compliance, Lucifer becomes a symbol of autonomous moral choice, a cautionary example of what happens when one follows conscience rather than command. Number 3. Advocating equality or resisting favoritism. In traditional narratives, Lucifer objects to humanity being elevated above angels. Scholars have analyzed this as a metaphor for resistance to arbitrary hierarchies. In literary terms, his objection embodies the human drive for fairness and recognition of merit. While the act itself is rebellion, it reflects an ethical tension, the struggle to reconcile justice with loyalty to a superior authority. This tension resonates deeply with human concepts of equality and fairness, even if his rebellion is ultimately destructive. Number 4. Acceptance of consequences. Unlike many characters who evade responsibility, literary depictions of Lucifer highlight his acceptance of the consequences of his choices. In Paradise Lost, he does not seek mercy after the fall, he owns it fully. Philosophers have noted that this accountability, choosing freely and accepting punishment, reflects a morally serious engagement with one's actions. It frames the question of justice not in reward or punishment, but in the integrity of choice. Number 5. Valuing autonomy over comfort. Lucifer's famous declaration, "Better to reign in hell than serve in heaven," resonates as a reflection on freedom. Milton's text portrays it as tragic rather than triumphant. The broader philosophical reading sees it as a meditation on the human preference for autonomy over security. Even in suffering, the assertion of self-governance can carry profound symbolic weight, suggesting that moral dignity may demand suffering rather than passive submission. Number 6. Introducing knowledge and awareness. Through the figure of the serpent in Eden, which many literary traditions link to Lucifer, he brings knowledge of good and evil to humanity. While religious interpretations focus on disobedience, literary and philosophical analyses frame this as an awakening. Knowledge, even painful, is portrayed as morally and intellectually necessary. Symbolically, this is the moment when awareness, critical thought, and ethical responsibility enter the human narrative, a theme celebrated by writers who depict Lucifer as a catalyst for consciousness. Number 7. Respecting moral choice. In some interpretations, Lucifer tempts rather than forces. This distinction, highlighted in literary studies, is crucial. Temptation presupposes agency. Humans are given the opportunity to choose, and that choice defines moral responsibility. By allowing choice rather than coercion, the narrative presents a subtle philosophical point about autonomy. Morality is meaningful only when it is chosen, not imposed. Number 8. Exposing hypocrisy and testing virtue. Lucifer's rebellion functions as a mirror, exposing contradictions in divine or societal structures. Milton and later writers use him to highlight the tension between authority and justice, perfection and imperfection. By acting as adversary, he tests both angels and humans, forcing them to confront hypocrisy and self-interest. Symbolically, this challenges audiences to reflect on fairness and integrity, turning Lucifer into a literary tool for moral inquiry. Number 9. Symbolizing justice through adversity. In Hebrew tradition, Hey Satan means the adversary, emphasizing his role as a tester rather than a destroyer. Literary interpretations pick up this motif, portraying him as an agent who ensures accountability. This symbolic function resonates with human ideas of justice. Someone must challenge authority, question virtue, and ensure that moral decisions are not made blindly. In this sense, Lucifer embodies a difficult, adversarial aspect of ethics, the necessary tension between power and conscience. Number 10. Enduring conviction under punishment. Finally, the ultimate symbolic act is Lucifer's endurance. Exiled, punished, and condemned for eternity, he does not recant or submit. Philosophers and literary critics interpret this as a meditation on conviction and principle. While his rebellion leads to damnation, it also reflects the human experience of standing by deeply held beliefs, even in the face of overwhelming consequences. It becomes a tragic symbol of moral courage and the costs inherent in absolute self-determination. Lucifer, in these literary and philosophical contexts, is not a figure to emulate, nor a literal exemplar of justice. He is a symbol, a mirror for the human struggle with freedom, authority, conscience, and consequence. His story is tragic because rebellion and autonomy come at a cost, yet it endures because it provokes reflection. In literature, art, and philosophy, the fallen angel continues to challenge us to think about choice, morality, and the price of standing by our convictions. Even centuries later, the myth of Lucifer reminds us that the questions of freedom, responsibility, and justice are never simple. His light, and the light of awareness, defiance, and moral tension, still flickers in every debate about what it means to act rightly in an imperfect world.